Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about estate planning with non-citizen spouses. Before we get to that though, I want to remind you, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, please go to estatemeeting.com. You can set up a time to talk with us over the phone or in person for free. estatemeeting.com. Okay, so estate planning with non-citizen spouses. Before I get into the sort of the heart of this talk, I want to point out that there are two important distinctions between non-citizen spouses. There's the non-citizen resident spouse, right? Somebody that lives in the United States but is still a non-citizen. Think they have a work visa, they have a green card, some sort of status. And there's the non-resident, non-resident alien spouse, which is someone that is not living here, right, in the United States. There are very, very important distinctions between those two, which I maybe we'll talk about tomorrow. Today, though, I'm talking about specifically the resident non-citizen spouse. So someone that lives in the United States, is married to a U.S. citizen, and but is not a citizen themselves. Okay. Now, I will tell you this used to be more important back in the day when the federal estate tax exemption was smaller, but it may still apply. It's important to know. The most important thing to understand is that from spouse to spouse, from a U.S. citizen spouse to a non-U.S. citizen spouse, there is no unlimited exemption like there is from spouse to spouse if you're both citizens. So if I was worth $100 million and I died, I could give everything to my spouse and there would be no estate tax due. If my spouse was a non-citizen, everything over $11 million essentially, which is what the federal exemption amount is, would be taxed. This is a very, very important difference. And this is also important because you may be watching this in the future. This is 2020 right now. Let's say you're watching this in 2025 and the exemption goes from 11 million to 1 million, which it could go all over the place. This becomes very, very important at that time because you cannot make those transfers. Now, there's another thing to remember too, though. Because of this issue, there is a higher annual gift amount from spouse to spouse. So technically, if you're going to be giving somebody something, you can give them up to like $14,000, $15,000 a year without having to file any gift tax returns, without lowering your exemption amount. From a U.S. spouse to a non-citizen spouse, you can give up to $157,000 a year without carving into your federal estate tax exemption. Hopefully that made sense. It was a big mouthful. Just know that you can basically give 10 times the annual amount to a non-citizen spouse that you could to anybody else because of this restriction on the unlimited spousal exemption that most people have. Okay? And if you are not confused yet, then congratulations. I'm either doing a really good job or you are very smart. And if you are very confused right now, I'm probably not doing a good job and you are probably still very smart. But this would be a perfect time to reach out and set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person for free by going to estatemeeting.com, because then we can sort of put pen to paper. We can talk about your specific situation and we can figure out how this all will work out. Because there are some other things to consider, but I'm confusing myself right now. I'm lying. I'm not confusing myself, but explaining this over video can be difficult. But to recap, there is no unlimited marital exemption from a U.S. spouse to a non-citizen spouse. And you can give, because of that, you can give up to $157,000 a year from a U.S. spouse to a non-citizen spouse and not reduce your exemption amount or have that counted against you in any way. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I'm Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And I will talk to you again.